To preface this episode, I would like to make a statement about mental health. There is explicit reference to self-harm within this chapter, as well as the beginning of serious mental health issues represented within the novel. These things are not to be ashamed of. Like any other illness, we must heal from them. That comes from love, not shame. Please reach out if you ever need someone to talk to. Many people are there to help. They want to see you at your best. If this world feels truly empty to you and like nobody understands, I will be here to listen to you every time. Voices will always thrive in the corner of your mind. Apparitions of self-doubt, demons of apathy, malice, and cruelty. Hold strong on these darkest of nights. I will always be by your side. In the hardest moments, the severe plights, I believe in us to survive. To hold ourselves tight and make the world brighter with our own light. I'm rooting for you. Believe in me too. We need each other to make things right, overcoming social pressures and the horrors of life alike. Welcome back to a new world. I appreciate your presence in my life. Third, 2 years had passed since Karrogan's assault. Life progressed normally for the nameless village. There were only two rankings left to decide among them, second and third. Aoife had already taken down everyone else spectacularly to claim the top spot. Now it came down to Orthus and MALI butting head to head in the sandy pits. Though the match was set to be prodigy versus prodigy, there was far more bubbling under the surface in MALI's mind. She watched him prep, stretch, and stance. Karrogan's blood ran through the sand in her mind's eye. She could make a weapon to fight Orthus with. But actually touching him was something that she wanted to avoid at all costs. A punch would be fine. An open palm on his clothes or skin would send her into shock. MALI imagined his skin peeling from his face, his armor bending inward to collapse his muscular frame. She imagined every horror she could perform on his body. Blood, organs, bone and guts. The breakdown of the perfect warrior. It would be easy. She couldn't stomach just how easy it would be. That was too horrible to think about. Butter melting in the hot sun, paper shredded in the breeze. She wanted to puke. MALI had been barely able to look Emlyn in the eye for the entire day. He who had risen in MALI's decline. The High Elder appointed him as an understudy to the council, to bear knowledge under his eye. He was to bear the words of the greatest man who ever lived, a tale of ultimate woe, cruelty, and prosperity in the face of darkness itself. The bonds of love beyond our coils begat Nephilim onto the world. Humanity wasn't a common topic amongst them. Even fewer uttered the word Nephilim. No concept of self-awareness in their minds. The High Elder didn't mind. It wasn't relevant to the communal sense they had built in their own paradise. Warriors who understood strength, the bonds that are forged, and why they would break. Wellness for all, fight for yourself, and die for the Elder. You all right, MALI? You don't have to fight. Orthus watched her sway anxiously against the blowing sand. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. I'm all right. MALI timidly deflected. You sure? He sounded concerned. Positive. I'm taking second. She didn't believe her own words. It would prove to be her downfall as Orthus took the first lunge, slamming her straight down with a quick right jab to the skull. She rolled off of the blow and balanced herself. Her vision blurred and Orthus used her clear delusion to offset his location in the sand. The swirling winds around them picked up. Talk was over. It was time for MALI to walk. I need a weapon, MALI thought to herself, but her hands wouldn't allow her to conjure one from the ground below. Flashes of twisting gore among the sand stayed her ability. It had receded into a full mental block. She was ready to throw up. Instead, she threw herself forward, skirting past Orthus and delivering a solid right kick to his gut. just below his armored ribcage. He was barely phased, and a cocky grin spread across his lips. What a disappointment you turned out to be. Won't even bring out your ability. His elbow collided with her left cheek. Even without using his power, Orthus was in battle mode. Whatever concern he had before had been buried. He now pressed down the warpath toward her. She backed off as fast as possible and regained whatever composure she could. No ability, no mercy from Orthus. Need to act fast or get broken. Her mind raced as she kicked off the sand and wove her body around him. Every punch and kick she managed to throw was counteracted by his fists. He had her locked down. She focused on a rapid succession of strikes instead of forceful ones. He mocked each strike with a block twice as hard, knocking her off balance each time. She staggered back from the force of his last block. Roots sprouted from the surface of Orthus' skin, starting from his elbow and working their way up to the wrist of his right arm. His powerful wooden tendrils twisted around his body in continuous motion. They came at her like a whip. She tried to dodge, but they had the angled advantage. She broke through the roots with simple strikes to keep them off of her. She would have to focus on getting one definitive strike on her opponent to take him down. Getting past the foliage would prove difficult. He wouldn't allow her to get space from equal footing. He kept the pressure up with each forceful whip. After breaking through a barrage, she was too focused and didn't see him come for her leg. Orthus latched onto her ankle with the roots and whipped her hard against the sand. Her head rang from the pain as he thrashed her violently back and forth. Her frustration churned with each critical blow. Before he could crash her into the ground again, MALI caught the sand in her hand, shifting the earth below them. The storm that erupted was enough to break the hold Orthus had on MALI. Her focus was clear with the momentum holding her in the air. She punched and kicked through the tendrils on the way down. They couldn't cover all of him as they attacked her. MALI brought her foot down onto his head and slammed him down. Orthus would recover quickly. She would strike quicker. MALI stomped on his head, forcing him to chew on the grit below. She had to use her ability in order to win. He was only momentarily flushed in comparison to her. She reached down into the sands, willing it to wrap and harden around his throat. In the next moment, the world went dead. The sand stopped blowing. Orthus wasn't moving, and the cheering from the crowd had ceased. MALI was now surrounded by a frozen world, shrouded in absolute silence. A silence that was broken by clapping, and the tapping of feet through the air. A young, charming man with slicked back black hair and lavish white robes stepped down from the bright, burning ball in the sky. His robes were covered in black and gold, divine symbols. She didn't remember the sun being so massive, with an intense array of colors rippling across blue sky. His feet continued to echo as he descended toward her, eventually resting his foot right on Orthus' head, planted firmly in the sand. Hello again, MALI. He smiled alluringly at her. It was a warm, caring smile, even if the look in his eyes told her that he knew more about her than he should have. Who are you? I've never met you in my life. She was terrified by him. You will. There's time yet. I just happen to be taking a stop along the rails in your brain. Memories are interesting. Immune to time, free to travel. The course is determined. I can just safely ruin your life along the way. He smiled even wider. She didn't understand him at all. You can't do anything to me! You can't! Her panic was cut off by a tremendous rippling force through the sands, swallowing Orthus' body whole, and then regurgitating him in the wrong order of pieces. Blood, bone, organs, and broken armor were spat back out at her. The ground shifted and her mind was ripped into just as savagely as the display she just witnessed. Nothing? Nothing at all? Mali, my dear, had things been different, I would hold you in my very arms and keep the voices at bay. But what you don't realize is... He paused and waved his ceremonial cloak over himself, disappearing in a flash. A pile of Orthus sat on the sands. The world remained frozen. One by one, the necks of the onlookers snapped to directly face Mali. They all turned and stared with dead expressions before whispering, "I am the voices." Their dead expressions shifted into mocking smiles before breaking out into an inescapable laughter. Mali screamed and covered her ears. She curled up in the sand and cried. Two strong arms cradled her lovingly. The man smiled and petted her hair. "I love you so very much. You don't understand these feelings, this process in my brain. But I understand you. I understand everything about you, and what I'm doing may be cruel. This is how it must be. If the hell in your heart is survived, your soul will thrive." Next thing Mali realized as she opened her eyes was that Orthus had her bound in roots. "Too easy," he sneered. The disgrace was apparent on her face. Orthus released his grip and offered a hand. Mali's pride refused immediately. She pushed herself off the ground and looked around to the silent mockery of the other villagers. Her ability was no secret. They all knew exactly what she was capable of. She wanted to call out and mock them back, tell them off for their silent disappointment. But there was none more disappointed than her. This was her opportunity to stay by her best friend's side, and she failed, fell behind once more. "Orthus is the number 2! Orthus! Orthus!" The crowd chanted relentlessly, waves of applause tearing into every facet of Mali's ego. "Congratulations, Orthus. The best fighter won today. You should be proud of how far you've come." Mali choked down each word with a smile on her face, her mind already darting to her dagger at home. Intricate layers of scars that lined her body, primarily her arms, remnants of him. Nobody would notice a few more slits in the organic mesh, a trait she unknowingly shared with her opponent. She needed to be alone as soon as possible, before she lost herself in front of her whole village. The shame would be too great to bear. It hurt enough. She was home now, alone. Mali wrapped herself in her favorite blanket, a gorgeous blend of soft cotton and whispering wolf fur. No matter how much she bled from battle or the demons in her mind, the blanket was dark enough to hide all the stains of her turmoil. Once her body was completely covered, Mali wept as the blade dug into her lavender flesh. She could feel the comforting warmth glide down the rough skin and pool around her lap. The right arm that Karrogan had personally mangled so long ago ached. Her tears ran harder. She called out to the unknown, looking for freedom from the pain. Something that could take her away from it all. The endless suffering, crying out into the void. In truth, Mali never wanted an answer, but one was waiting for her. The tallow candles that lit her chamber dimmed significantly. Shadows crept in from all corners of the room. "Little girl, terrified and helpless." The man from earlier's voice slithered its way from the darkness to her core. "How may I be of service?" "You can go away, monster. I don't need you. I don't need anyone." Mali swallowed her sadness and tried to remain strong as she tightened the blanket around her shoulders. "How cold? Me? A monster? Are we really all that different?" "We are nothing alike." Her tone dead. Oh, but it is not so, my love. We are both the mistreated and fallen, the disgrace of our homes. I don't think there's ever been someone who understands you more than I do. A snake's soft hissing could be heard behind each word he spun in her soul. You are so much more than just third place, my dearest. You are a noble warrior of justice, a hero, the remarkable artist that you are. Your hands can change the world. He sang sweetly. Go away. Stop mocking me. I don't need your pity. Her voice was strained with misery. There is no pity here. Only love, care, affection of the utmost sincerity. He laughed half-heartedly, his hollow voice ringing through the dark atmosphere. You deserve the world. There is so much left for you to do. Like what? She hesitated to ask, yet his words started to burn within her. Something about what he had to say intrigued her. An escape from the madness she was stuck within. One day you will change this planet forever. It is your hands that were given the power of God, and it is that power that will shape the world just as it had been done before. You have much to overcome, beautiful. I shouldn't even be saying these things now, and yet I feel the need to go against my orders, to disobey, for you, my love, to sow these very words into you, so you may always remember what you must do, long after we're done here today. He spoke elegantly, yet each word felt repulsive to hear. I don't need love. Stop calling me that. She was sick of listening to him. Of course, dear. No. Regardless, Try me with one more pet name. I dare you. Mali scowled and bit her tongue. If she was to be mocked, she wouldn't take the incessant bullshit of a faux lover appeal. And this is why you have won my heart, he beamed. Do not fret. You must remember, in the sea of those claiming to be correct, the endless masses trying to create the world to their vision, it is your mind that must stand the tests put forth. You and you alone. Reject righteous authority. It is the only way to preserve your kind. Keep that in mind. The lights flickered back to life. His presence receded before Mali could say another word. She felt even more alone than she did before. Whatever dignity she had left had been robbed in the encounter. She couldn't bring herself to cry anymore, nor to smile. Everything felt numb, so she supplemented emotion with more damage to her skin. I don't want to be okay, Mali muttered to herself as she drifted off to sleep, her skin lined with scarlet. Maybe tomorrow wouldn't hurt as much. Once again, I would like to thank you for joining me for this episode of A New World. Obviously, this is a very intensive chapter with a lot of vulnerable emotions on the line and some mental health problems on display. Like I said before, please reach out if you or someone you know are experiencing severe stress, disturbances in your mental health that are causing your waking life to become a nightmare. These things are not uncommon. Do not be ashamed. Just remember that you are loved And there is so much left for you to see, so much left for you to do. And I just want you to know that I'm giving you a huge hug right now. If you are listening to this, you get the biggest hug and forehead kiss, and I'm gonna fucking tell you that it's gonna be okay, because I believe it will be. And I'm not a liar. So, I hope you have an amazing day.